Folks, welcome back. I have your latest market update for the City of Toronto for week ending February 24th. I'm looking at my hands. I've been told by my video producer I move my hands way too much. If that's distracting to you, I'm sorry, but I can't do the meeting this way. I have to talk with my hands, and the video producer and the rest of you just got to live with this. Okay, so let's get into the numbers. I'm talking about just the City of Toronto here right now. One other point actually, and I've had this discussion with a few people. There are so many other videos out there and other market gurus that will talk to you about the bond yields and how it's going to affect real estate prices, and we'll talk to you about the Bank of Canada rates, prediction and economic forecast over the next 20 years, and the price of eggs in China, and they'll talk about all sorts of things and somehow relate it and tell you what's going to happen in our real estate market. And when all that's fine and good, and I listen to some of these people sometimes myself, what I'm talking to you about, these are real numbers. So all this other stuff to me is background noise. This here, what I'm going to share with you now, especially if you're joining us for the first time, I'm explaining this. These are real, accurate numbers taken from the Toronto Real Estate Board of what's actually sold, what was actually listed, what was actually bought and sold in our market. I'm a full-time realtor with RE/MAX Premier. I'm in the field every day. I'm talking to you about public sentiment. I'm talking about public attitude, because that is the greatest, most important factor when it comes to what's happening right now in the field and where we're going. So that's kind of the angle I'm coming from. If you call me and invite me to your house and you say, Santo, I'm thinking of selling, what do you think I could sell my house for? I'm not going to talk to you about all this other stuff going on. I'm going to be looking at the micro market in your neighborhood, and I'm analyzing the direction of prices. And because I'm in the field every day, I have a feeling for the public attitude of buying. That's what I'm talking to you about, and that's where we're going to be setting your price. And if you're looking to buy, I could be talking to you about the same thing, the neighborhood you want to buy in, what you can expect to pay, and what we got to do in this market to fight and crawl our way to, because it's a challenge if you're buying in this market, to get the right price without you overpaying. Okay, I said enough. Let's get into this. These are three cities: City of Toronto, Vaughan, and Richmond Hill. As a quick summary, just for detached houses, prices are generally between $1,686,000, $1,734,000. In these three cities, buying a detached house, you're paying around $1.7 million. There's no other ways of looking at that. Looking at just the City of Toronto, we're hitting some big numbers here. Now, you might take that as good news, bad news, indifferent, but this is what's going on. 274 sales last week for week ending February 24th. Now, I have broken down by week on this chart, approximately 8 months here. 274 is our third best week going back for about 8 months. So sales are extremely strong for Toronto detached homes. Of the 274, 64 properties sold at $2 million or more. So the luxury market is really doing extremely well. 64 is the highest week we've had on this chart. And that brings the average sold price to $1,686,000. So it's up from the previous week. In the last few weeks, it's been coming up and down. Now, the amount of properties sold at $2 million or more for sure affects the wave of prices going up and down. But over the last few weeks here, since we've come into the new year of 2021, average sold price is sitting around 1.7. There's, prices are high out there. I don't know how else to tell you that. Prices are high and seems to be getting higher. Compared to last year, we're sitting at 14% higher than last year's average sold price at this time. Now, last year we sold 40 properties during this week at $2 million or more. This year we sold 64. So for sure that's going to elevate average sold price. But we're selling more luxury properties, and those $800,000 properties are now at $900,000, $950,000, $1 million. So average sold price has gone up. When we look at sales compared to last year, we are outpacing last year's sales. Now the orange is this year, the blue is exactly 12 months ago for the same period. So the blue is much less, the orange, we're selling more. Of the 274, 209 sold at list price or more. That's 76%. So out of every 4 detached homes sold, 3 are selling at list price or more. That means there's lots of competition out there. If you're in the market and you're buying, you're seeing this, you've got some challenges ahead of you. Now I know those of you that are selling think, oh, this is great, it's going to be easy to sell. And keep in mind, even in this market, it's extremely important to hire the right realtor, just because if you're selling, you want to maximize that sale. You want to get the most out of it. Any realtor can sell a home right now, but the right realtor is going to get you that extra 20, 30, 40,000. I know some of you listening right now are not going to like that, but that's the reality. That's why you hire a realtor, to really help you out there if you're selling. If you're buying, it's so important you hire the right realtor so you're not overpaying, but also to really get you some opportunities. Otherwise, you're standing in line, competing, really getting beat up at each time you try to buy a property. So the right realtor will create more opportunities and put you in a position to buy the right home. When we look at listings, very similar to where we were last year at the same time for listings and months of inventory. Look how, we're sitting at 0.7 months of inventory. We have about 3 weeks of inventory. If we buy at the current rate and no more listings come up, we will have bought or sold every single detached home in a matter of 3 weeks. The fact that over these last few weeks, months of inventory is so low, that's what's keeping average sold price as high as it is. As a quick summary here for Toronto semis, if you're looking to buy a semi, good luck. Months of inventory sitting at 0.4. Average sold price for a semi last week was $1,359,000. It's really a challenge to buy semis, and you're paying way more than ever before. Townhouses, similar story. Months of inventory is 0.9, and it's been like this for a while, and that's what's keeping the townhouse price real high. For last week, $1,136,000. Condos is just it's always in the news, and everybody's always talking about condo prices. Well, let me tell you what's happening here. For Vaughan and Richmond Hill, sitting just under $600,000 the average sold price. But for the city of Toronto, condo prices have been going up almost since day one that we came into the new year, but they've shot up quite a bit. Let's take a closer look. Sales, we sold 498 condos last week. So let's just round off and say 500 condos. Again, I have about 8 months of weeks broken down here. That's the highest week we've had in a long, long time. But look at this number. 47 of those condo sales were at $1 million or more. Now 47 is the highest week that we've got on the board up here. So it's a long, long time that we've actually hit 47 units in a week at $1 million or more. Average sold price is sitting at $738,000 for the average condo. Prices are up. I don't know how else to say it. Back in November, I had spoken about we've probably seen the bottom, but we're jumping up there. Public sentiment, public confidence is really strong when it comes to condo. What's not on here are the amount of assignment sales being done. That number is way up also. So in general, the condo market is really starting to pick up. And guess what? Universities are not open yet. The borders, immigration is not open yet, and we have an aggressive immigration policy that's going to boost things up even more. Compared to last year, we're sitting at 1% higher for this week, but it's really even to where it was last week. But all the weeks before that, we're about 10 to 12% lower than where we were last year's average sold price. So sales, 498, way better than it was last year, way better than it's been for months. Of those 498, more than half, 53% sold at list price or more. So it's not a given that you see a condo price and you negotiate down. You could be in a multiple, well, chances are good that you're going to be in a multiple offer situation and you're competing for that condo. When we look at listings, we're listing more. So we're buying more condos, we're listing more condos. Active listings is coming down slightly every single week, and months of inventory are sitting at 0.8. When you look at months of inventory for the last few months of 1.1, 1, and now sitting at 0.8, there's obvious why the prices are going up. Now, months of inventory is really the relation between supply and demand. And when months of inventory are this low, people are competing to buy, and sellers really are controlling the market. So as a summary, if you're just trying to just summarize the Toronto market in general, for detached houses, months of inventory is 0.7, semis is 0.4, towns is 0.9, condos is 0.8. Market's very tight, not a lot of inventory. You're competing. I keep saying this, but it is not it's not a health crisis market situation. Although we're operating in a health crisis, the real estate industry has not slowed down because of the health crisis. If anything, it's gone up. We are breaking records. My name is Santo Sessa with Remax Premier. Subscribe below. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.